Join Lorekeeper Andy in a quest so grand. Exploring bit heroes, all the lore at hand. From dungeons deep to bosses tall, with Lorekeeper Andy. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Lorekeeper Andy here. After wrapping up my adventures in Wintermarsh and surviving toxic goo, I've now set my sights on the mountainous lake region known as Lakehaven. The locals warned me it was a peaceful place once, but lately, venturing into Lakehaven had become a danger. Luckily, danger is my middle name. My first steps into Lakehaven weren't exactly relaxing. I came across Jakku. Cracked stone, overgrown weeds, and orange banners with upside-down crosses. Not exactly a welcoming sight. Inside the dungeon, I met some of the new locals. There was Ives, a pink scorpion wearing whitey tighties. I know, bizarre, but he stung hard. Then came Nagini, a bright orange cobra who seemed more interested in attention than combat. I wasn't sure whether to fight or to bring her a snack. Either way, they weren't too thrilled to see me. Moving deeper into the region, I came upon Dina Dunes. Inside, I came across a small, loud, and possibly confused dinosaur who said, "Dina, Dina, 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 Dina." And that was my formal introduction to King Dina, a dino who frankly had more energy than strategy. I handled her with a swift takedown, and I moved on before that chant got stuck in my head forever. Moving forward, I came across the Dusty Ridge. The path twisted back through familiar terrain, only this time the enemies seemed more organized. Ivies, Naginis, and Dinas all returned for a rematch, less chatty this time, more bitey. I held my ground and reminded them why I'm the one narrating these stories. Now it was time for my first dungeon in Lakehaven, Nasdudu Wasteland. The dungeon smelled like trouble. Or maybe it was just that giant green worm that burst from the ground shouting, "Mwahaha! Prepare for your doom." Meet Nasdudu. A big worm. I dodged, weaved, and landed the final blow before he could even say do a third time. After conquering the dungeon, my confidence was soaring, and I kept moving forward. I came across Mr. Wasson's catacomb. The air here was different. There was dark stone halls, flickering purple torches, and the unmistakable groan of someone unwell. However, before I could put two and two together, I was ambushed by Melvins, twin bat-winged gremlins who fought like caffeinated toddlers. Then came Mr. Wasson himself. It almost appeared like one of those Melvins was hitching a ride on top of this vomiting zombie. I approached and he said, Disgusted, it was time for me to take out the trash. Moving on, I ventured into Neila Crypt, and things kept getting weirder. I saw Neila. It looked like some sort of undead alien. She raised her fire staff and said, "The ancient prophecy foretold of your arrival." Which honestly felt flattering, and I was excited to fulfill my prophecy, until she tried to melt my face off. Rude. I continued towards Melvin's grotto. This grotto was crawling. Melvins, Wassans, more Neilas. Everyone wanted another go at me. At this point, I felt like a walking rematch poster. After some close calls and probably stepping in something unspeakable, I cleared the area and pressed on. I came upon the second dungeon of Lakehaven, known as Jeb's Chamber. Inside, I could hear some click-clack of talons. And then I saw her, Jeb. An almost spider-like creature with far too many stabby limbs. She didn't say much, but I could hear the tick as she lunged. I danced between her strikes, and I was able to strike her true. Moving on, I came upon Rill's tower. I was now in Lakehaven's final stretch, and it brought me to a towering keep draped in red banners and stained glass. Skeleton guards Rills and Knock stood in my path. Rills raised his sword and solemnly declared, "I am the sword in the darkness, and the shield that guards this castle." Then he tried to cut me in half. Moving forward, I went past the tower and came upon Fort Juice. I don't think I'd be finding any sweet drinks in here. A skeletal soldier named Juice clanked forward, with spear in hand, muttering, "My bones ache, and your bones will break." I admired his commitment to rhyming, even as I shattered his bones. One by one, the undead enemies fell. I moved forward and came across the undead stronghold. This stronghold was crawling with skeletons. Juice, Rills, and Knock. I had just about memorized their attack patterns. They fought hard, but I fought harder. I cleared my path and braced myself for the final fight in Lakehaven. The third and final dungeon. Quirrel's Fortress. I stammered through many foes, and in the heart of this fortress floated Quirrel, a skeletal shaman in regal purple robes. He raised his staff and boomed.
"I am the evil that protects this castle. The shadow betrays you because they serve me."
Okay, dramatic much? The battle was fierce. I shattered his defenses and brought down the fortress's evil once and for all. Lakehaven was no easy quest. From poisonous scorpions in underwear to poetry reciting skeletons, every step tested me. Lakehaven's quest was complete. Next stop, Ashvale. Something tells me things are not going to get easier from here. Okay, so that was the story, or basically my quest through Lakehaven. I do want to have a quick follow-up and reference some of the lore I was able to pick out. The first thing I noticed was this rise of the undead forces. We have Rills, Juice, Knock, Neila, maybe Mr. Wassan. All of these were either zombies or skeletons. These enemies were organized, they were defending towers. This definitely hints at a possible greater necromantic power that is pulling these strings. And it begs the question, who really is commanding all of these undead? Was it Quirrel, or was it someone else? We also noticed that Melvins show up once again. This time with some wings. We've seen Melvins before, and their variants keep increasing. Where are these Melvins coming from, and why are they spreading throughout the land? I'm sure we'll find out more. I want to call out really quick Neila. Obviously, Neila is a reference to Alien, the sci-fi horror. You can see, the name spelled backwards is Alien, literally alien. And you can see, the shape of the head is very, very similar to an alien, as well as in the description, tall, thin, and a bit alien. So love to see that reference there. However, Neila did bring up that we were in some sort of ancient prophecy that foretold of our arrival. And that feels pretty heavy. This could hint at a large prophecy involving our heroes. And I'm curious to learn more. The last thing I want to bring up that I noticed is when Quirrel brings up that the shadow betrays you because they serve them. And that begs the question, is shadow magic a force in Bit Heroes? And are there others who might be able to bend it to their will? Or perhaps does the shadow magic bend them? Well, Lakehaven might have just raised more questions than answers. Who commands the undead? What's the deal with the Melvins? What prophecy am I apparently a part of? I'll be watching for more clues as we head into Ashvale, and of course, I'll bring you guys along for the adventure. Every clue, every boss, every quest. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I want to take a quick second to say thank you to all my current channel members, Twitch subscribers, as well as my current stream boss, Jason Baker. Thank you all so much for supporting on stream. Thanks for joining me on this leg of the journey. Until next time, take care and good luck with your grind.